Alrighty guys, so in the last video what we did is we created the most boring interface on earth, gray with a gray button that says nothing on the button. So let's go ahead and spice this up by adding some color and actually adding some text to the button. So anytime we want to work with color, we actually need to import android.graphics.color. So now we have the ability to use color. Dun dun dun. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is actually just change the color of my layout or the background. So adding properties is actually really easy. Choose whatever you want to add a property to well, the properties are different, but I know that this one is set background color. Now, since we imported from this graphics library, what we can do is call color dot, and it gives you a bunch of default ones, but I don't know what's a good one. Green will probably stand out, although I think that this green is like lime, like very bright green, so it'll definitely stand out in the thumbnail, so I guess that's good. Now we have a green background in that gray button, so I actually want to change this to red. Since we did name it red button, it would only be fair. Now before I do that, I actually want to set the text. So of course, whenever we use the set text method, it's just going to add text to the button. And what do I want to set it to? And stupid freaking. Alright, I'll just write like click me Haas. Alright, looks good. Actually, I don't want that mark. It looks a little too much if you ask me. So now, of course, we need to set the background color of this to red. So red button, set background color, and color red. Alright, so now our background is green, and our button is now red, and it says click me Haas on it. So let's go ahead and run that and test it out. Alright, so there we have it, looking pretty good, and for some reason, this is reminding me of a Ninja Turtle right now. Raphael. Okay, so I kind of am digging this green color with the red. But anyways, the next thing I want to do is I want to show you guys how to take this button and position it in the middle of the screen, right there. So, right after your layout and right before your button, give yourself some space. There we go. I ate a Hot Pocket like 2 hours ago, and every time I burp it smells like a Hot Pocket, so you know, I'm sure you guys are interested in that. But essentially what we're gonna do with this button, if I could pull this back up, is we need to give it some rules, and the rules are gonna say, okay, position yourself in the center of the screen both horizontally and vertically, so it's gonna appear right here. So the first thing we're actually going to do is we're going to make a container to put it in, and then we're going to pretty much take that container and position it in the middle. You guys are going to see in just a second. So if you actually call this relative layout dot layout params, these layout parameters are just rules for something you want your layout to do. So since these are going to be applied to the button, I'm just going to name these like button details and set this equal to relative layout params. Now inside here, what you need to pass in is the height and the width for this container. So what we can actually do is take relative layout params, and we're going to call a property called wrap content. Now what this does is it automatically gets the height and the width of your content. So let me just finish this real quick, and then it'll be easier to see what's going on. So again, since we need to pass it in the height and the width, and actually this is giving me an error because, of course, since we're setting this equal to an object, we have to call new. Alright, so we're passing in the height and the width. So what we're going to say is just get whatever content is in your container. It's only going to be this button we're going to be sticking in there, and then get the height and the width automatically. So we don't need to pass in like a fixed value or anything. It's really easy that way. So now what we want to do is we want to say, okay, take this and position it in the center of your screen. So now that you got everything set up, you can position it wherever you want it. And in order to do that, just take that object, button details, and the rule for it, again, this is pretty much a rule of how you're going to position it, is relative layout dot center horizontal, and we're going to add another one to center vertically, and then center vertical, and then of course that's going to take it and put it in the dead center. Now, in order to actually apply these rules to your button, what you need to do is whenever you add your view, right now this is just adding the button wherever it goes by default. However, if we want to give it an explicit position, we just pass in button details, and it says, okay, this adds the button to the layout, and this right here is saying how you want to add it. So pretty sweet. Let's run this and make sure we didn't mess anything up. Alright, looking good. So in this video, now you guys know how to add color, how to set some properties for your widgets, and also how to position them at least vertically and horizontally on the screen. So in the upcoming tutorials, I'm going to show you guys how to have a lot more control and how to create some more awesome layouts. It's going to be awesome. Again, if you want the source code for any of this, it's going to be on my forum. So yeah, I'll see you next time.